Influence, welcome back. Hey, we're at the GMS, all right, theater, all right, which is pretty cool.
GMS Theater.
GMS Theater.
Yes, I
It's
love
Global
it.
Media Studios. And I'm with a dear friend of mine, Ed Rigsbee, all right. Ed, we've been wandering these halls for a very long time, okay, without a doubt. But you have a very particular clientele and group of individuals that you work with.
Mhm.
And those folks themselves, they really need what you have and what you do and what you offer. And it's through associations.
Yes.
And your relationship with the associations, and how to really work and develop that long-term journey with the associations, all right? And so as that working with the associations themselves, we just had a slight conversation. We were talking about COVID and things that kind of changed our world a little bit, all right? Travel in, travel out, no carry luggage, whatever the case may be, all right? But now your work with associations has now been monumental, all right? Especially for individuals here, all right? Speakers and those individuals themselves that are working. Let's talk about associations.
Let's do it. That's the associations are the gateway to corporate business.
Good. Superb. That's a great intro.
And the other great thing with associations, regardless of the economy, they have to have their meetings.
Imagine that.
And so, I mean, a corporation, they can choose, not to have a meeting.
Right.
Associations can't. And a lot of associations, people think they only have their annual meeting, but a lot of associations have 3, 4, 5 national meetings. So there's lots of opportunity to reach and get business. And around NSA, they know me as the association guy.
Association guy, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
For associations themselves, some of them, most of them, are nonprofit.
Yeah, there's two. 501 is the tax status. 501c6 is the old term was business leagues. 501c6 are the trade associations, the various societies. 501c3s, which Cigar Peg is, are some of the more medical type societies. Like a couple of the CEOs in my association CEO group. One does a blood disorder. It's a 501c3.
Right,
Another one's with the poison center, 501c3.
Okay, gotcha.
But then like the others that are trade associations, that's 501c6.
6, right. Okay, good. Superb. So with the associations, you've been able to, I'll just say, open the can, all right, and let the worms out.
Well, something, let's go way back. You talked about when we first came into this. I joined NSA in 1988.
Right.
I grew my association business by giving them articles.
Okay.
That I used to get articles published in retail. What the heck was it? Action Sports Retailer.
Okay, gotcha.
And I would give the editors the articles, and I learned pretty quickly. It's like, well, if I ask the editor who the decision maker on selecting speakers, most of the time they tell me.
Sure.
And it was kind of my backdoor way. And I'd been doing classes in NSA chapters, speaking in NSA meetings since the mid '90s on the basic idea of, well, let's find who the meeting planner is. Because here's the thing that I don't know if you did this early in your career, but I sure did. I wasted so much time.
We did.
Going after the non-decision makers. I would be dealing with the logistics people thinking they were the decision maker and they weren't.
Sure.
And so, it's about, like right now, I mean, my goal is to try to get the speakers to understand, you got to find, as Alan Weiss likes to say, the economic buyer. You got to decide to find the decision maker. Yeah. And if you don't do that, your success rates.
You're barking up a tree there, But you put together a very, very unique position for associations to utilize with your services and speakers, okay, in that regards. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, for associations, I mean, I created the qualitative research method in the year 2000 to determine the actual ROI, dollar value ROI of membership. And I've gone around the world speaking on that at various associations. Well,
which I think they need to know that.
Well, they do, because if baby boomers would join an association and they were happy with 12 magazines a year in an annual meeting. Today, millennials and X-Gens like, no way.
Exactly.
So I've been doing that for 25 years. Well, at the same time, after COVID hit, Aidan Crawford and I started a community. We call it Association and Society Speakers Community.
Okay.
And that website is speakercommunity.org.
Good. Love it.
And our whole focus there, and we're a subscription. So,
Sure.
so people can join.
Fine.
They can join for 1 month. I mean, we don't make people sign up for a year, any of that kind of stupid stuff. So it's about teaching, helping people to actually get those bookings at associations that they can leverage to other associations and into corporations. And the thing is, trying to get people to understand, if you're like at a national association's website, are you looking at all of the meetings they have? Or then are you diddling around looking, do they have a chapter link? Well, do they have 50 chapters across the country?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you went from one prospect to 60 prospects.
Exactly. Yeah. Gotcha.
And not enough speakers take that extra time to, it only takes 4 seconds extra, but they get so focused on the keynote. And so many people are so obsessive on the keynote. There's tons of money. Another little trick, a tip, I should say, associations, they have different pockets. So the meetings division pocket, money pocket is one, but the director of education, they have a different money pocket.
Right.
So if you can't get in to do the keynote, maybe you can get in through the other side. The director of education, maybe it's going to be virtual workshops, but it's a way to worm your way in. So there's lots of ways to skin that cat, but too many speakers get so obsessive and focused. I'm only going to talk about the keynote. I'm only, and there's just so much more.
There's so much more.
So much more.
Associations themselves, I've dealt my share of dealing with associations and things of this nature, and sometimes they don't know what they don't know. All right, sometimes themselves, the work or just a daunting task, all right, is way too much for them to handle. You've helped associations through this dilemma.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right on the way here to Influence, I got an email from a meeting planner for some fraternity, sorority, or something in Illinois, and she said, Bob London, who was he's in my CEO group, said that you might be able to help me. I need a speaker for Palm Springs for like August 10th, and I've got a small budget. Do you know any speakers? And I emailed her back and said, hey, I'm heading off to the NSA convention. Give me a couple of days. I'll ask around and see if I can find you somebody. I have a lot of association people because I'm very active in the ASAE collaboration systems, and they're calling me all the time. I don't want to be a bureau because somebody last night said, hey, have you ever thought about being a bureau? Yeah, for about 3 seconds. So I don't want to be a bureau, but I really do enjoy helping. On ASA Collaborate the other day, somebody posted, I need this, that, or the other. I posted back, okay, here's 4 speakers that do burnout. I sent the email to those 4 people. Hey, here's what I posted at the ASA Collaborate. Right. And then a couple of them go, oh, should I send them an email?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you think
it's
so?
Like, yeah. Send it, yeah. But one of them got the booking. And so that's a fun thing to do at this stage of my life.
Right, yeah. Let's transfer that opportunity, all right, to others, refer out, all right, and give others the same opportunity itself. They would, really have work in associations. It's funny because within associations, there's many different varieties, many different topics, many different types, and everything else like this. And that's a lifelong work. Or to deal with every type of associations put out there. Is there any kind of associations that work best, or it's just all associations?
Here's the thing. Let's just say, I hate to use a generic term, but I'm going to do it.
Right.
For the average NSA speaker, probably the trade associations are going to be a better market than the professional societies.
Right.
Because the trade associations are more general business related, and a lot of the topics that we here in NSA do. So that would be the better market.
Okay.
And between national and state trade associations and professional societies, there's about 100,000 of them in the U.S.
Yeah, right,
so there's lots out there.
There's enough work for everybody.
There's plenty of work out there. Plenty of work out there. And so I think that anybody here that's at Influence, it's like, my push would be, hey, use ChatGPT to research what that association's challenges and problems are.
Right, exactly.
Aid and I have a tool on our ASSE website for our members that does all this. But But let's put that to the side.
Sure, sorry.
Chat can do it. So you go, okay, I'm going to call up the, let's see, I interviewed a couple weeks ago the rural farm managers. Okay.
Right.
So put into ChatGPT, what are the problems the rural farm manager is dealing with? And then put in there, how does my content help them? And then put in there, how can I show myself not as a subject matter expert,
Identify the want, service the need.
But as a thought leader.
See, look at that.
Here's the big thing, and just had a big conversation with our ASSC group. Too many speakers in NSA want to sell themselves as subject matter experts. Okay, that's a $3,000 breakout. Now, what about putting yourself out as a thought leader? That's a $20,000 keynote.
Right.
Now, each is okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nope, not at all.
But it's like, the association people, they want you and I and everybody in NSA to say, I understand who your members are. I understand your members' problems.
Yep.
Here's how my material will help your members.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, they listen.
They listen. That's it.
But when NSA members have diarrhea of the email and sending out these just generic things, they
it doesn't attach to anybody. It doesn't resonate with anybody. It has no validity, and you just might as well just throw yourself in a spam folder.
And that's exactly where you go. Because if you really commit, and the other thing that the speakers could and should do, if you're on an association's website, look at last year's conference. Look at who the speakers were. And here's a tip that one association person I just interviewed the other day says, we recently hired a speaker that looked at our program last year and told us, I think that my material would fit in the spot that you gave John Doe last year.
Exactly, yeah.
And the gal that was director of meetings, she said, that person made my life so easy. They explained to me where I should use them, how I should use them, why I should use them.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Wow.
It's value.
Yeah.
All right. It's really putting the value ahead of what we do. Okay. And I understand itself from a speaker standpoint. We do have a specialized direction. All right. But I think itself is really servicing out the value. All right. Getting those wants and needs parallel. All right. To what the client is looking for.
I think what we as speakers don't do well enough. We've got to explain, when I come in and do a talk, here's how I make your life better as a meeting planner. Here's how I make your members' life better to grow their business, improve their business, whatever. And then, after all that, then tell them, and I do it through A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Exactly.
Because most speakers come in, I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then by the time they get to the benefits, the meeting planner is zoned out.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, without a doubt, 100%.
Because the meeting planner, they don't care as much about your process, what you're in love with. No. They care about the results of your process.
That's right, exactly.
And not enough speakers do that.
They want that resonation from their attendees themselves to know they're going to be able to walk away with at least something for implementation.
Well, and something, I've got two sons that are millennials, and they have this attitude that, if I can't get 10x on my money, why should I do it?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And not to
what happened to seed planting?
But the challenge is for a lot of these associations now, a lot of the younger people that are now getting into leadership. Right. My sons are in their mid 30s and early 40s, and those are people that are starting to get into leadership, and their perspective is different than the baby boomers' perspective.
Sure is, and
so we have to adjust our approach. Yeah. And it's. As you said, it's all about the value.
The value, right, exactly. So, Ed, if there's one particular item we want to leave influence, we want to leave our viewers with, what would be that one piece of nugget of information, coming from what you do to get it out to the people so that they can pay attention? Did I say it that way? Was I rude?
Here's what I would say, and I would approach it just from a little bit different window. Persistence.
Good. Gotcha.
I learned from Michael LaBeouf years ago, back in the early 90s, persistence. If you want to be a speaker, a keynote speaker, breakout speaker, whatever, I've met so many people that they're like a 110 light bulb on 220 volts.
Sure, right.
And burn bright for a day, and a half, and then they're gone. You've got to be willing to go for the long haul. When you come into the speaking business, it's our life.
That's right.
We'll do it for the rest of our life.
That's right.
When people come to me and say, Ed, are you ever going to retire? No.
That's right. This is a non-retirable job.
Because I have so much fun. and so a speaker at whatever age you come in, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,
Right.
look at it on a long term, be persistent. And if you do that and you always think through the window of what's in it for the client,
Right.
how am I going to make the client's life better,
Yeah.
then you've got a chance.
Sure.
And it's easy to understand, but really hard to implement.
Sure it is, without a doubt, 100%, without a doubt. And I think most speakers themselves, they would love to gravitate that. Some of the individuals themselves have the ambition, have the wants and need, and really they want to apply it. But unfortunately, fall short. You know as well as I do.
And here's the thing. And I was talking to somebody yesterday. He goes, I just need somebody to give me a chance. And I said, no, that's not the way it works. Somebody doesn't give you a chance.
Reverse
you go earn a chance.
Exactly.
You go do A, B, C, D, F, G to earn that chance.
That's our baby boomer world.
I just need a chance.
We've grown up in that, right?
Yeah.
But then, in fact, out there. Ed, how do they reach you?
There's lots of ways people can reach me. People can send me an email, Ed Rigsbee, EDRIGSBEE, at gmail.com. They can send an email to ed@rigsbee.com. They can send an email to ed@cigarpig.com. They can go to my website, Rigsbee, RIGSBE.com. They can go to LinkedIn. I'm pretty easy.
You're pretty much it's easy accessibility, without a doubt.
If you can spell Rigsbee, RIGSBEE, not with a Y,
right,
you can easily find me.
Where you're at.
Find me. Yeah.
And I want to thank you very much for joining me today. We've had a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Thanks.
You've been a dear friend of mine for years and years inside this NSA world. I want to thank you for that too as well. Yeah. And let's keep in touch. All right, and let's do it too. I appreciate it. Ed, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Influence themselves, Eggs Rigsbee. All right, I can't say anything more. We'll be back soon. Have a great day. Thanks.